So it's Wednesday night, 2nd of October, and it's time for Awardies Waffle update. You can see we've got bright blue sky, well, not bright blue, but a bit of blue sky there at the minute, which is a first, because this week we've had some horrendous rain. And I'm stood on the edge of the beck that regular viewers will know we cleaned out this last year. But in this update, we've started the harvesting of the Capulet Beans. I got Michael Porter came back and James with their combine to help us with the flexi header on Sunday. And yeah, very, very challenging combining in these conditions. So we've got an update about that, and also what we do with the beans when they've been combined. We've only done a small acreage of them. You'll see we've had a lot of rain this week, a huge amount of rain this week, and we've got some beans behind me still to combine, and another field across there. Now, whether we end up getting those or not, I'm not really sure. We shall just have to see and hope for the best. But we've had so much rain this last few days that I don't think we're going to be able to put a wheel on any fields for at least a week. It is that wet. We've had just so much rain. Sugar beet we haven't harvested yet. We've got sugar beet there we haven't touched. We've 2 more fields a bit further along we haven't touched either. And I wanted to have got those other 2 fields out the ground by now and hopefully in the factory. That's obviously not going to happen. Also, we've got a problem with a tractor with the Case Puma, so we look at that as well in this update, and we get Farmstar in to help us repair that. So yeah, a bit of a challenge at the moment. I'm just glad we've got that new weaving drill came 2 or 3 weeks ago. We're going to be setting that off next week, not in the field, but we need to do it in the shed and get to know the control panel in the cab and how to calibrate and all those sorts of things. So we're going to do that. But yeah, really, really challenging conditions at the moment. And I think this coming weekend, I'm going to go and see my godson Henry on Friday to see what the situation's like over there. Quite a few have been asking me about, is the river over the top? Has the bank collapsed again? Well, we'll actually go over there and get some footage from that. So that will be this coming Sunday, because I'm at the dentist on Friday to have a crown done that I had measured up for, and some work done on that 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm going back to have that fitted, and I'll see Henry on the Friday as well. So lots going on at the minute, but obviously the weather's playing a massive impact into what we do or what we don't do. And you can just see the amount of water coming down the dike here, and what we've got over the bridge here behind me. But it just shows the value of actually maintaining waterways, maintaining dikes, and actually dealing with the water. And the Environment Agency really, really need to get to grips. We've had a whole year now with nothing happening. I think it's time we started to really try and do something about it. They came round to Henry's, as you know, over a year ago, about a year ago, and then again in January early on this year, and other farmers, and they said they were going to be doing things, and lots of nods and lots of note taking, but as some of you said, nothing's happened, and it's about time we started to do something about it. All the rivers that have had debris in the channel, this is one of them from near Lincoln. Look at this channel is 3/4 blocked. This is the River Witham heading into Lincoln. Nothing's been done with this, and the Environment Agency really just aren't fit for purpose, and we need them disbanding really. You cannot have an organisation like that looks after the environment and looks after waterways. We need the National Rivers Authority to come back that we used to have, and they need to manage the waterways, and they'll do it a lot better, in conjunction with help from the IDBs, from the internal drainage boards. So anyway, and I'm going to touch on the internal drainage boards in a few weeks, because might have a bit of news for you on our local drainage board. Anyway, that's it for me rambling on now. Thanks ever so much for watching this update. Hope you enjoy it, and if you make it to the end, we'll see you then. I've got James here from the Lincolnshire RCAT, is it?
Yeah, Rural Crime
Action Team. And we've just spotted, or rather your colleague Martin rang me, spotted some damage up on the cereal site. And this really isn't helpful at all, because it means we've got to rectify all the wheelings and the damage, and this is what we're looking at the minute. James, we're looking at, obviously, hair coursing. It has been a big problem over the last few years, and Lincolnshire as well. But the last year or two, it's been dropping. We've had some really good results.
We have, yeah, what we've been talking about. So we've been out today patrolling, because obviously we've been aware of some hair coursing in this area. Yeah, we've come across the damage to your field here. And as I say, talking about the the recent results. So 3 years ago in Lincolnshire we had 1,500 incidents approximately.
In the year?
These rough numbers
Yeah.
in the year. Reported to the police. You obviously probably account for a couple of hundred that maybe didn't get reported through not being seen. The year following that, so 2023, we would have had approximately again 600 incidents. That's nearly half a half drop, if you like. And then last year, 2024, obviously because we're at the start of kind of the 25 season, if you want to call it that. So last year, we had about 250 incidents. So we've seen massive decreases over the last few years.
Incredible. And also the courts as well.
And that's played a huge part into it. Obviously, our response to the police, yourselves, the community, our colleagues in the specialist operations unit have all fed into that, and then the courts themselves have been very strong on the sentences we've been seeing, and obviously from our page the kind of things that are being given out.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the Links Rural team on they're on Twitter, aren't you? And
Twitter and Facebook,
social media, you'll see the results they're getting, and I think it's fantastic that the support we get. And this is a prime example that I didn't know this damage was here until Martin James, a colleague, told us about it, and James has waited for me to come up and have a look and have a word with. And I think it also though just highlights as well the importance, and we can't stress it enough, of everybody, when you see hare courses, when you see any rural crime, is to report it, not just leave it.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say we're out today with targeted patrols because of what's being reported around this area.
Yeah.
We need to know where it's happening to put our resources there. You know our team's the size of our team, so we need to be targeting where we go. We can't just be.
No. So please, anybody watching this, if you don't think it matters that there's a hare coursing going on, or you're not going to report it because nothing happens to it, please, it does. The Lincolnshire Police and the magistrates and the courts all are doing their best for it, and it does make a big difference. So please do report any rural crime, no matter how minor you think it might be, because it goes towards the statistics, which then puts into manpower on the feet on the ground.
Absolutely, and it's everything that goes with it, as we've been talking about, the damage to the crops.
Yeah, when you look here, behind us here. Yeah. Brilliant.
As well as the...
Well, that's great. Thanks, James, for all your support.
Cheers.
Thank you. So I'm just heading across here. Got Jonathan's here putting some more of the crop plots in, even though it's Sunday. And there's feet marks all over here and dog paw prints as well. So the hare coursers have been around here. But really hacked off with this. It's just unbelievable that these people drive across your fields without a worry or care and think they're allowed to do it. So that's going to cost us now. We've got to repair all that damage. Luckily they haven't gone over any crop plots that I've seen, but you just don't know at the minute till we inspect them closely. So it wasn't Jonathan, it was Sean from NIAB. Now NIAB stands for the National Institute of Agricultural Botany. They're an organisation from Cambridge, or based in Cambridge, and they do a lot of trials and a lot of work in the development of crops, varieties around the country, and a lot of their results go into national trials programs. Anyway, it's establishing some of their plots that they've got here. So it's Sunday afternoon, and you can see I've got a class combine here, and we are trying the Capulet Beans because of the rain coming tomorrow. And I don't know, it's really challenging because this last week's rain has not done these beans any favours at all. The black oats companion crop has been pushed over into the ground and down sort of flat, but it's also, because of that, it's pushed the beans down with them as well. And I've never seen a crop go off so badly as it has in the last week. You walk in this now and you can't see any bean pods, and that's because the pods are the camouflage really into the crop. And not good at all. So what we're doing is we're combining before the rain and just trying to get as many tons as we can, just to try and get some seed, because just remember this is the only crop of this kind in the country, so we have to get some seed to carry on this crop going forward. I think one of the biggest problems here is the black oats are too thick. That's the problem. The black oat companion crop is too thick, so that's one lesson we learned. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a debrief on this in a future episode. Tuesday morning and just driving around the farm, just checking what things look like after all the rain we've had. And if you remember on Sunday's update, I posted a screenshot of the forecast and I said I hope we don't get that, and this was that forecast here. Well, no, we didn't get that that amount of rain. We got this. So I'm now driving around the farm looking what it's like after 41 millimeters rain yesterday, and yeah, not brilliant, must admit, but we haven't got anything planted, any crops planted, but I think the molding that we've done, the mold draining we've done, has really had a huge impact when you start to look around one or two fields, which I'll show you. And also, I'm just parked in front of a lane, the new track we put in about 18 months ago, and it's going down to the new culvert we put in. Some of you who've watched these videos and been following me for a while, we put a big new 1.2 diameter meter culvert in, and that's just at the end of this track in front of me. But I just want to show you, I've got some partridges on this lane in front, and this is the English partridges that I sent you a little clip of about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to go down here. I was going to go and look at the beck and this bridge to see how much water there's been, but I'm not going to go there because these partridges are on the lane here trying to dry out. So this is the lane in front of me, and you can just see the partridges there, and they're in the grass under the hedge. They're on that track keeping dry because they don't like to have wet, muddy feet. So I'm not going to go down there and spoil them. I'm going to leave them because it is actually raining from right to left, so that hedge is sheltering them. But this is one of the areas that we had, or one of the fields that we didn't have, that we had a lot of bare crops in, and it was so hard, it had gone like concrete. We haven't got it mould. It's coming sugar beet. We're just waiting for some sewage sludge to be delivered, and we hopefully will still get it mould now that it's softened with all this rain. But we need to do something with it to get the water off this corner and all the fields. So hopefully we'll get it mould, and hopefully the weather will stop. We're planning on harvesting sugar beet yesterday, but obviously that's not happened. We have a local contractor who comes in and does that, and there's one of the fields on my left just driving past there. So the best thing to that is leave that now till we get some fine weather, because the worst thing you can do with sugar beet on sort of difficult clay soils is to harvest the beet and then you get all this rain on it after you've harvested it, but before you've cultivated it, because it really doesn't do it any favours at all then. So we need to wait till we get a fine spell if we can before we harvest any of this beet. So now onto the Capulet beans again. You saw the little clip at the start of this update looking at the harvesting we did on Sunday. Well, yeah, it's not been a success this year, but obviously the weather's played a huge part in it, but one or two of the decisions I think we've made hasn't helped. But I'm just driving past one of the fields we have to harvest yet, and yeah, it doesn't look good. What you can see here are mainly the black oats that we sprayed off, and there are some beans in the bottom, but not many. But this is the problem we've now got. We've got water along here again, and I don't honestly know at the minute whether it's worth combining what beans are in there yet. We've got a decision to make. This is the field that we had beans in that they failed, but we kept the cover crop, the black oat cover crop growing, which you saw being combined a week ago, 10 days ago, before the rain started. And then we've got the beans at this end. This was a mistake on Sunday. We should have come here first and got those few, because these beans on this headland are okay, and it would clear the field then, because as it is, the other field we haven't finished, which you'll see in a minute. Coming up to the beck now that Barry cleaned out last winter. There we go. Look how it's all started to fill in now to what it was like after Barry had finished. All starting to regrow, and it does do. Nature has a way, when you clean stuff out and repair things like we've done here, how it all comes back. Just getting out, looking the other side. A lot of water here, and that drain's running well. takes, which goes under the field that way. There's a lot of water here, huge amount. And there's a field of sugar beet that we still obviously have to harvest. We haven't lifted any sugar beet yet. This is the field of the Capulet beans you saw earlier in this update. You can see we've got a strip this side just in here that we didn't harvest on Sunday because it's really flat, that bit is, and it was just blocking every few yards. And then there's the far side of the field there. You can see we've got the bonnet up on the Puma. We've got a little issue with this. This is why the GPS steering hasn't been very good over the last year or so. Got Ryan here doing some repairs, so we'll just have a look and get Ryan to talk us through what he's doing. So looks a bit dramatic. Got the front wheel off, the front wheel apart. So Ryan, what are you busy doing and what's gone wrong?
So basically what we're having is we're having new kingpins and new kingpin bearings.
Yeah.
New hub seals and bearings throughout. At the moment I'm replacing the steering angle sensor wire and the conduit to protect it, which runs up out of the hub here and down this lovely little piece of pipe and up.
And under there.
And then also, while we've been stripping it, we've noticed that there's quite a lot of play in this track rod end.
And that won't be helping the steering accuracy?
No, not at all. That'll be, but someone in the wisdom in the past has welded them together.
Ah, dear.
So unfortunately, we're having to have a full new steering arm.
Yeah, right, well it needs doing.
Which is not ideal,
no.
But it is what it is.
And are the bearings all right in
Yes,
the hub?
So the only reason we've stripped the hub really is to get into here to replace the angle sensor.
Yeah.
So the bearings in the hub are going to go again. The seal, of course, is going to be replaced.
Yeah.
And then there's our other bearing, which, as we can see, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
No, there's no play in it.
No, so that'll go again.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's are all under cover in here, look.
Keeping the dust down.
Yeah, keep the bits of muck out, and then there's the front of the hub.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And then the brakes are buried under here somewhere. There's your disc and your brake plates.
Yeah, well done.
Keep them clean.
Yes, well done. Brilliant. Thanks, Ryan. So I've just come down to the beck that Barry's done out last winter. You saw it a few minutes ago in his clip. We are now 7 hours after I took that other video, and look at this. Look how much more water's coming down through here in just 7 hours. Just incredible. Really good job we did this out this last winter. Just shows the value of waterway maintenance. The Environment Agency really need to take notice of things like this and get a grip. Just look at the amount of water coming down there now compared to literally 7 hours ago. We go the other side here. Just keep out the wind because I haven't got my muffled microphone. And look at that. And then just look now how much it's risen. There is the pipe drain that's running down there. The value of proper drainage and maintenance. Nothing stood on that field much. What a difference. Look at that drain. How much it's risen. That's working well. We have subsoiled this headland, not moulded this field, but we have subsoiled this headland deep, loosened it. You just see there's a little bit of water stood up there, and the headland is wet, so we're getting it moulded this year. But we have planted the SFI crop in here only last week before. So that's it for another midweek update. Got some evening sun for a change this week, and I'm stood in one of the beans. Just wanted to show you one or two things about the problems we've got with these at the moment. But hopefully we're going to try and get some more of these combined. I've just been trying to make a few plans today, but whether we'll do it or not, I'm not sure. I'll just turn this camera around and just have a look and just show you what's going on. So this is an area at the end of the field where we've got the black oats as companion crop, but just looking down into the crop, and that, there we have 2 bean plants. There and there is another one. But let's just pull that up. What happens with these beans, there should be a lot more pods on than that, obviously, but you can see how the pods have all gone black now and a funny colour. That's because they're well ripe. But the bean plant is not like, say, even these oats stems that are thick and tall. When these beans get ready for harvest and get ripe, the stem actually disintegrates and goes to virtually nothing, so they won't keep standing, whereas a crop of wheat or oats or barley or any normal crop will. These just disintegrate, and that will just keep going thinner and thinner. And the problem we've got is because the oats, the black oats here, have started to go down, you can see here they're all lolled about, they're pulling the beans down with them. So this is the problem. So there is some beans, if I can get them out, you can see the beans are in there. They're still in actual, there we are, there's one. They're still in quite good quality. So we do need to get whatever few tons we've got here. But just looking at this patch, this here is, there wasn't so much black oats here. I ran out with a spreader when I was putting them on, and there are a lot more beans. Now, to a lot of you looking at this and thinking, crikey, a lot more beans, there's nothing here. But to me, from what we've got elsewhere, there are a lot more beans. You can see here when you look at these here. So this is like this around this outside, and like I said earlier in this clip, we should have harvested this bit first on Sunday. So we're going to try and get these and get what tonnage we can. So I think it's just also still worth pointing out that yes, we've had a lot of failures with this crop this year, with a lot of seeds rotted in the ground, the crop not yielding anywhere near what it should be. But that's no different to a wheat crop, it's no different to any other cereal crop, that where you get a lot of rain straight after planting like we had here, the crops just do not like it, and these are no different. Anyway, we'll keep going again, and we'll have an update with you with Eric and Roseanne from Warwick University Crop Centre. We'll have an update from them and a bit of discussion with them in the next week or so. But just to remember as well, and highlight, changing topics, this coming week I'm going to see Henry. I've just arranged to meet Henry, my godson, and look at the floods, or the flooded area that he had round his way, and look at the river banks. There's still one river out in his way that the bank hasn't been repaired. The Environment Agency said they haven't got the money to do it, so the bank is still open. So I'm not quite sure whether that water has flooded out. It's not the main bank that collapsed over Henry's land and his neighbour's land, it's another one nearby. Anyway, we'll have a good update with that, and just highlight the inadequacies of the Environment Agency and all the things they're not doing, because they're not doing anything to do with river maintenance, and it's just wrong that they are allowed to get away with everything that they are doing, and affecting farmers' livelihoods, affecting food supply, affecting environment, affecting wildlife. They're doing so much damage, and yet nothing happens to them. They're seen unaccountable, and we cannot have the Environment Agency managing our waterways and networks. There's a conflict of interest there. We need the National Rivers Authority back that there used to be years ago for managing the waterways. It's as simple as that. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this update, and we'll see you as usual 8 AM Sunday morning.